Welcome to Chromatic Counsel Podcast, the podcast where law, leadership, and color collide. I'm your host, Carrie Heaps, and I have a great show lined up for you today. One quick announcement. If you are in the Texas area or Florida, I hope you'll check out our duly accredited Digital Tells class, How to Read Body Language on Zoom and Other Legal Platforms. This is a great class for you to earn some technology credit in Florida and some MCLE credit in Texas. We have a link in the show notes below, so I hope you'll check it out. And today I am really excited to have with me my guest, David Arato. He's the founder and CEO of Lexicon Legal Content, a legal content marketing agency that has been helping law firms and legal marketing agencies produce high quality, compliant written content since 2012. He has a unique creative background that I can't wait to dive into. As a former professional cellist, David brings both analytical precision and artistic insight to the world of legal content strategy and SEO. Based in Breckenridge, Colorado, he leads Lexicon alongside his wife and business partner, Erin, blending legal expertise with content innovation to help attorneys stand out in an AI-driven search landscape. David, welcome to the show.
Quite the introduction. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And I'm so excited that you're here because I know when I was looking at your background, I'm like, oh my gosh, I always love when we have such a diverse background of like, how did you get here? So I would love for you to just kind of tell our listening audience just a little bit more about you. You know, how did your journey evolve from like the performing arts into the legal content world? Like where, like that had to have been an amazing journey.
Yeah, it was great. And music has been a huge part of my life. And I'm going to go all the way back with this. I started playing cello when I was 5, and I was pretty good at it. And it always felt like it was what I was supposed to be doing. The reality of being a working, practicing musician wasn't what I expected. And truthfully, I always had this other interest, an analytical mind that I wanted to explore that I wasn't getting out of music school when you're not studying music and you're not taking music theory and music history and the rest of the curriculum.
Mhm.
Um, I felt it wasn't the most fulfilling thing for me for my personal interests. And law school was always something on my mind, and I did well on the
Mhm.
LSAT, so here we are.
Wow. Yeah. And I know it's really interesting because I find a lot of attorneys, whether they've been on my show or if I meet them when I'm speaking in person, and I talk to them about their background, I'm amazed at how many have some type of artistic background. Like they've
Absolutely.
written books, they have been in the acting industry, they play in bands, and they still do that. So I think a lot of times it's such a misconception with the public that people think attorneys are just analytical left brain people and they don't go, do anything creative, and that just is not true.
Absolutely.
Now, your company, Lexicon Legal Content, you emphasize attorney written legal materials. So, what unique value do trained attorneys bring to legal content versus a traditional writer or somebody that is on staff at a regular marketing company?
Absolutely. And I do want to clarify, I don't want to make any false claims. Our writing staff is not all attorneys. All of our content is ultimately attorney reviewed for compliance and accuracy, but
Mhm.
we have a team of legal professionals working in this space. Many of them are paralegals, many of them are practicing attorneys. Many of our writers just have been in the copywriting space for a long time in the legal vertical. Um, as a regulated profession, it is critical that any content an attorney puts on their website or anywhere else publicly
Mhm.
is compliant with the rules of professional conduct and legally accurate.
Mhm.
Not only from a compliance with advertising rules perspective, but also for getting your content ranked in Google and in the AI search results. It's got to show expertise, it's got to be authoritative, and it's got to build trust. And if it doesn't comply with the rules of professional conduct as they relate to advertising and is not legally accurate, your content is not going to rank. And it also could result in a bar complaint, which no
Mhm.
one wants.
Yeah. Oh, definitely not. I mean, and I find because obviously every state is different,
Yep.
clearly, and I guess every state has their own guidelines as well for legal marketing, like what the attorney can do and not do.
Many states do follow the model rules. Um,
Hmm.
there are there are certain states, for example, in Florida, you can't say expert or specialist in your marketing unless you're state bar certified. In most states, you can't say it at all. There are slight variances.
Hmm.
Uh, what we try and do is we try and be compliant with the most restrictive rules to ensure that any content we create is compliant in all jurisdictions.
Hmm. And I know, like on Instagram, for example, because I follow a lot of attorneys and of
Of
course they
course.
follow me. And
Yep.
I see them doing, content marketing like for video and, doing, like little things and skits. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But I want to kind of just switch gears a little bit and talk about AI.
Please.
Because everybody, AI is like, it's like the big thing now. AI is increasingly reshaping how content is created. I
Absolutely.
was actually creating some content myself today and using AI. Um, how do you kind of balance that using AI as a tool, for efficiency, for, to help you, if you're not a creative person, while ensuring accuracy at the same time and compliance and quality in the legal content marketing realm? Are you against it? Are you for it? Where are you at?
I I think it's a another tool in the toolbox of content creation.
Mhm.
We've been using some form of AI for a decade now. Grammarly runs on AI. Grammarly is a tool that most content creators use, and the binary idea of human created content and AI created content, I think, is a wrong way to look at it. If you think about it this way, if we all have access, first of all, the name of the game for us is getting our content ranked highly so our law firms gain visibility online. If everyone has access to the same tools, all it's done is raise the floor.
Mhm.
Creating acceptable generic content has never been easier. You can create grammatically correct, fine, polite content in a matter of seconds for free.
Mhm.
The fact is, in a sea of sameness, none of it is going to rank well. So the floor it's been the democratization of content creation is here. We can all do it. We can all go to ChatGPT. We can all go to Claude and say, give me 1,000 words about family law in Texas. Good luck getting that output ranked because
Mhm.
everyone's doing it. What's Google's incentive to index and surface that content? It's just raised the bar for what good content is. That is the first draft created by AI is just our starting point.
Mhm.
What really differentiates good content and the content that ranks well in today's SEO world and AEO world, that being answer engine optimization,
Mhm.
is content that really has a true human voice, demonstrates an expertise, authority, and trust, as I said, and also has flags of humanness. What the bots can't do, I think is a phrase that I heard at a legal conference I was at recently, and I've seen it work for many of our clients. When attorneys talk in their content about their background, about their community involvement, not just generic legal principles, that's what gets content to rank.
And when you talk about content, if you wouldn't mind, just for anybody that might be
Yes, of
tuning
course.
in, any attorneys, because obviously content, there's so many different kinds of content now.
Yep,
There's written, like which ones, do you find are best for attorneys, like especially solo practitioners? Like
sure.
what do you recommend for them?
So we specialize in creating written content that
Mhm.
tends to be blog content, press releases, practice area pages on your website, homepage content. That's what we specialize in. We're also getting into video content now.
Mhm.
What I think written content is extraordinarily important. Everyone thinks video is the future, and it might be. I don't know. I don't want to prognosticate about that. The issue is AI is pulling from written content, not from video content. So it's more important than ever to be publishing regularly,
Mhm.
fresh content, new content, adding to the conversation, not just regurgitating what already exists.
So do you think still having a blog, or like a lot of people now are starting to like ditch a blog and go to Substack?
Sure.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, it sounds like it's still you need to have a blog, you need to have something on your site that has written content, or
I think so. I think so. And I think I see it working for our company. I'm
mm,
able to target with the content that we publish for our company. I'm able to target long tail keywords, so very specific search terms that are high commercial intent
Mhm.
that if someone's searching how to find a good legal content provider and we come up first, they're probably going to hire us. So I
Mhm.
think a blog is a great way to get content out there and target the long tail search terms that are very high intent for potential law firm clients.
Mhm. And do you, again, like with Substack or even like the parts of YouTube, because there's a section
Sure,
of YouTube now on your channel where you can publish
sure.
written content. Do you feel like those are kind of on the rise? As long as if you've got the good content, should you also be putting it out there, or is it not, or do you don't want to replicate?
I don't think you should duplicate your content. You can syndicate content, I guess, but I think the best thing to do, this is my strategy for us. Be omnipresent.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere your readers may be, anywhere your viewers may be there. It's
Mm-hmm.
not enough. It's omni-channel marketing, truly.
Yeah.
So and the great thing about content is you can repurpose it. You can turn your blog post into a longer form article for Substack, and then you can chop it up and then create video scripts from it to create 10 short reels for Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So content creation it's really it builds on itself.
And what are you seeing as the biggest mistakes that law firms are making today when it comes to that search engine optimization? Because it has changed so much and it probably will continue to do so. Um,
I don't, I think I see a lot of people right now in the past 6 months here abandoning traditional search engine optimization,
mhm,
thinking that everyone's moving to ChatGPT and Claude. And it's just not the case. Like the statistics do not bear that out. People are still using Google. Um, also, while the focus may have changed and how we optimize may have changed slightly, the basic principles still apply.
mhm,
Create great content often that answers your client's questions. An interesting development that I've been really focused on professionally in the past 6 months has been the rise of the AI overviews in Google, because I
mhm,
really think that's showing us this new hybrid model of traditional search. You still get the 10 blue links at the bottom.
mhm,
You still get the PPC, the pay-per-click ads.
mhm,
But for 80% of legal searches, is the most recent data, 80% of legal queries trigger AI overviews. Those AI overviews are AI generated responses to the query that have citations to where the AI is pulling the information from. Those AI overviews are taking up more than half of the page. So now the user needs to scroll down not just past the sponsored results,
mhm,
but AI overviews to see the first organic SEO result. So
mhm,
this has really changed the entire face of search. It's devalued being in position one.
mhm,
What's really important now is to be surfaced in AI. And going back to what I was saying earlier, it's a lit the focus of the content getting into AI is different than getting into SEO. We're no longer targeting car accident attorney in Denver. It's more conversational. It's following the user's conversation with an AI and answering those questions as they come up in the content.
So any attorney that's listening, and I know you probably hear this too, like, I don't have time to write. I don't have time to, come up with content. So obviously that's where you step in.
Absolutely.
And, but for the ones that are like, you know what, I'm just starting out, I'm trying
Sure.
to figure this out. Maybe they have a blog on their site. Maybe it is a WordPress site and they have that blog.
Sure.
Um, if you were not if they weren't at a position where they could be working with you or your company right now, and they're like, what are some things I can do right now on my own? And they're going to blog.
hmm
Do you recommend that they do it? I think consistency is key, but do you think it should be every day, once a week, or kind of like when they can fit time in, or do you have kind of a cookie cutter formula for that for people who are trying to kind of they're just getting started?
I'll tell you this, our minimum engagement is weekly. That's what we do.
Mhm,
Google likes to see websites that are curated and updated regularly.
mhm,
Also, I'm seeing content freshness as a huge ranking factor in, to go back to what I was saying earlier, in the AI
mhm,
overviews.
mhm,
We've published content on our own site that I've seen ranking in the AI overviews in 6 hours. Literally
mhm,
6 hours later, it's showing up in AI overviews. Then it falls off after 2 weeks. So if we want to stay visible, if we want to stay at the top of these results, we have to talk about the same stuff over and over and over again in a different
mhm.
way. And I think that's true for law firms as well. Like these are closed universe practices, right? Let's say you're a personal injury attorney, like you're dealing with a lot of motor vehicle accidents, presumably.
Hmm.
You need to find a way to talk about motor vehicle accidents regularly and like peel back the layers of the onion. Go
Hmm.
deep into the legal issues and the health issues and all the issues you can think of. A great way to think about things to talk about is go back through your practice and think about what your clients have asked you. What are the questions that come up regularly
Hmm.
in in your initial interview or initial consultation rather with the client
Hmm.
and turn that into content.
Yeah. And I would agree with that. I know I've always told people that want to speak or they're like, "Oh, I don't know what to talk about." And I'm like, "Go back and think about what are the five main questions people, when people find out you're an attorney at a barbecue or a
That's right.
child's birthday party and they're like, "Oh, my best friend's cousin's dog walker wants to get a divorce. What do you think they should do?" You can those questions are annoying, but have them in the back of your brain because they make great speaking topics too.
Absolutely.
What other trends, and I know you mentioned one, but what trends are you watching right now?
Other than AI, which has been like obsessively, like it's all I can think about every day.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I guess other than AI or like what different parts of AI are
okay,
you kind
fair,
of
fair.
like, hey,
You know what? I'll take my own advice. Let's peel back the layers of that onion. Um, More conversational content is a trend. So rather than again focusing on like a big broad search term, like people don't Google the same way that they used to. No
hmm.
one's putting in, again, car accident attorney Denver. Like people are asking questions. Who's the best car accident attorney in Denver? Or what should I look for in a car accident attorney in Denver or a lawyer, whatever the case may be. So more conversational content. I'm seeing a trend of FAQ content, question and answer format, ranking really, really well. And I think that speaks to the change in user behavior
Hmm.
that people are now, again, I'm going to use the same word, being more conversational with AI.
Hmm.
So when you're putting your content into a Q and A format, it's almost baiting the AI
Hmm.
to index and surface your content.
Yeah. And that makes sense. And you're right. I think like even the last time I was on Google and I was looking for something, it's like, how do I, or what should I do
Mhm.
about? It's almost like I was asking another person a question. And you're right. I probably would not have done that 10 years ago.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's definitely changed. So because the show is called Chromatic Counsel, and I always love to ask all of my guests about a color question, but how do you see color shaping trust or emotion in your industry?
sure. I mean, law is notoriously conservative, right?
Mhm.
Charcoal suits, navy suits, etc. And some of the most successful attorneys I've come across in my 15 years in the industry have made bold color choices. I can think
Mhm.
of Amanda Demanda, who changed her name to Demanda. I don't know what it
Mhm.
was before that. I think she's down in Florida, but she's everything's hot pink,
Mhm.
right? And there are other attorneys that like have just branded themselves with loud, bold colors that stand out from, I think it's not been this way for a generation, but I think when most people think of lawyers, they think of
Mhm.
middle-aged men in charcoal suits with a
Mhm.
briefcase. And to go against that stereotype, I think allows you to create a personal brand. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I just said.
I no, I couldn't agree with you more. I'm in total agreement. And even like you were talking about earlier, like even with personal injury, a lot of the personal injury attorneys that I have worked with that have come to me for like color advice to do
Yep,
what we call an attorney color toolkit or alignment system for their wardrobe. We basically will we wind up because again they're not wanting to give that staunch, like black suit and the
yep,
mahogany office
yep,
background. Like one gentleman told me, he goes, look, he said, I have a temporary office. I come in, I primarily work from home now, and I go into the office to meet with my clients and then I work on their stuff at home. So even if I go into the office, I'm still going to be more of a business casual, but
yep.
I want to wear, like their trust building colors like blue,
Sure,
or brown because it's more of a familiarity color. And it's kind of
sure.
like, hey, I'm your best friend, or I could be your neighbor, where it's less intimidating because some of them do take my advice to heart with color that when you come out on that advertising or the billboard and it's like, oh, it's like you got the arms crossed and the negative body language and you look really intimidating and you think
Sure.
it's helping, but sometimes people who really need that help, they're afraid. They're afraid to come and talk to you. They think they're going to get yelled at or judged or both and or thrown
Sure.
out of the office. And
I
so
guess
I
it's a
find
fine
the
line to
ones that
walk, huh?
have I think it can be, yeah. I mean, I just, I think it really depends, like you said, what is it that you're trying to accomplish?
Sure. Yeah.
What are you trying to do? Where are you trying to go with it? And then you kind of pick and select from there. But yeah, I always love to ask everybody that question.
Of
So,
course.
so just kind of in closing, I wanted to ask you if there was an attorney that came up to you and said, I need help with my content, and you could only give them one piece of advice, what would it be and why?
Wow, that's a big question. I would say start publishing regularly and keep doing it. I think the biggest thing with content is people, they go in spurts, right?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
they know they need content, they do it for 3 months, they do it for 6 months, and then they trail off.
Hmm.
Um, the compounding effect of creating content regularly for years and years and years cannot be understated. When you become the authority in your space, when you have a library of content on your website, on local trade publications that you've been on the news, that's content as well, right? Like
Hmm.
when you create this huge corpus of content and you become the go-to for an answer about a legal issue in your space,
Hmm.
that the compounding effect of creating content regularly cannot be understated. I'll say that again.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think consistency is the key, and it's almost
Sure.
like pick a day or pick two
Just do
days
it.
or Monday, Wednesday, Friday that you're going to be writing those articles and they're going to be set to publish and scheduled and you're done with it. And
That's
just
right.
keep its repetition, just keep on doing that.
And if you can't do it,
I
you can outsource it.
Exactly, exactly. So it kind of brings me to my closing question too. I would love for you, do you have anything coming up, David, with Lexicon that you want to share with everybody? Any specific events you might be attending or speaking at, or any services that you're like, hey, we're getting ready to launch? I would love for you to share that with everyone.
Absolutely. We're going to be at 10 Golden Rules, which is a legal conference in 2 weeks in Delray, Florida.
Oh,
And that's it for the spring. I haven't figured out our fall conference schedule yet. I've got an article coming out in the ABA Journal. Everyone should read that next month.
okay.
Um, and we are in the process of launching a new service that's a package aimed at getting law firms into the AI overviews specifically, rather than content marketing generally. So look for that in the coming months.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. And just so everyone knows, if you want to get a hold of David, learn more about the service that Lexicon provides, there is a link in the show notes below. You can click on that, go directly to the website as well. And David, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule today to join me and to talk about content marketing. Because again, and I'm a big believer, you got to write. I love writing and
Absolutely.
I like doing it more than I like video, but it's the things that worked 20 years ago, they're still working today. Everybody needs to continue to do those. If like I'm of the mindset, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And
Sure.
content is not broke, so keep doing it. So I want to thank you again for being on the show with me today.
My pleasure. This has been great.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and I hope what David shared helped you a little bit with your marketing. Again, the link is in the show notes below if you want to connect with him directly. And if you got value from this episode, I hope you hit the like button. Hit subscribe so you know when we drop our next episode of Chromatic Counsel. Just hit on the subscribe button. And I hope that you can tune in next time. And as always, I am wishing you continued success.